so that you can have some fun doing some blob art. If you are watching, I would love for you to say hi so that I know that you're here and we can say hello to you too. We're just going to be doing some fabulous blobs today, and we're not going to stress. Again, this is your no stress 45-minute period for your week. Absolutely zero stress art. Just going to have some fun. So we're going to be using watercolors today. Mira, what else are we using?
We are using watercolors. We're using a Sharpie or a pen, and we're using, I think that's it,
right? Just watercolors. We're using a water brush to spread the watercolor paints with, and then at the end we'll see if we want to do some comic book strip kind of art.
Yeah.
So we have an example. It's 2 o'clock, so welcome everyone to some blob art with Mira and Mansi. Mira is my 6-year-old and she's accompanying me today to do a demo. So we've been doing a lot of this blob art recently where we just put down blobs of paint and then we kind of give them shapes. We started out with birds, and the first time I did this, I looked at the birds and I was like, you know what, I need to make some worms at the bottom. So I went ahead and I added, I don't know if you can see, but there are some worms at the bottom. Let me see if I can make you see this a little better. The angle is kind of wrong, and also it's too close to the book, but there are worms at the bottom over there. So I had to turn this book around so you could see them. But I just started adding some dialogue there, and so it says, we're adorable but hangry. Does anyone know to band? Tweet. I have no knees. Maybe the worms will fly. You are way too hopeful. And the worms at the bottom are saying, saved by the legs. So that was kind of the first one we did, and we had so much fun with this that we also made some more. And the second one is where we did some collaborative work. Mira and I did some drawing and painting together, and then we added some dialogue together. So in this one, we kind of expanded upon the idea of the birds, and we introduced some flowers and some, what did you make, Mira?
So I made the birds.
So the
I started with this one, and then I made the robots, and then I thought that they needed more birds, so I made these 3 in the same color. And the head hair looks really different in all of them.
Right, and she made, after she made the birds, I made some flowers, and then what did you made the robots then, right?
Yeah, I already said that.
Oh, I'm sorry, I wasn't listening. And then I made
typing.
The monsters. Yes. And one of these monsters is special because it's wearing something that children might recognize. Do you want to tell them what it is?
It's a cat hat.
Cat in the Hat, the Dr. Seuss hat. And then this one was sleeping because it got so tired of the party planning. It just wants to go to the party. So we just kind of played around with this, and oh, hello, Vishal. Thanks for joining us. It'll be fun to do some blob art with you guys today. So then we started giving this some dialogue. We added some sky and some grass, and then we wrote party, and then Mira wrote over here. Do you want to read what she wrote?
I wrote, do you want to come? And this one is asking this, and then it's thinking of a cupcake. And this one is saying to everyone, all are welcome. This one is saying to this one, hello. This one is saying, should I come? Should I?
And this little bird over here is looking at the flower but dreaming of ice cream.
Yeah.
So you can see how with blobs, we are having a lot of fun doing something, making characters, making a storyline. Hi, Zoe. Hi, Anya. And this is the third one we did where we, again, did the same thing, but we made different kinds of flowers and birds, and the monsters this time were all boinging up.
To me, the flowers look like ladybugs on poles.
Ladybugs on poles, Mira calls them. And then again, we added some dialogue. So without further ado, I think we have enough people who joined in who are probably itching to get started. All that we're using today is just this pan set of watercolors. It's our travel set. So it's just whatever watercolors you have is good. We're just going to be using this one today. Mira and I are going to be working together on one page. So she and I are sharing these paints, and we're also going to be using our water-filled brushes. If you don't have water-filled brushes like these, you can just use regular old brushes and just have a water cup next to you so you can keep dipping your brush into the water and cleaning it.
You don't need that much paint. You just need...
You actually don't need a lot of paint. You need more water.
You need lots of water, not that much paint.
That's right. So we're going to be using this. And what's the most important thing you need in between the colors, Mira?
The most important thing is to have a rag.
The most important thing is to have a rag. And you can see how colorful our rags become as we paint. So we have these rags, one each. And we'll just get started. Oh, and the other thing, after we're done with the blobs, we're going to be using a Sharpie today because it's just easier to see a Sharpie on camera. It just makes for thicker lines. You don't have to use a Sharpie if you have pens, ballpoint pens, or any kind of black pens, they will do. So that's really all we need. Some watercolor paints, brushes, water, a rag, and some black pens. So are we ready to get started, Miss Mira?
Yes.
Okay. So you're going to do what first?
So I'm going to do the birds and the robots.
You're going to make the birds and the robots, and then I will come in and make the flowers and the monsters, right?
Yes.
That's a good plan to have.
So I'm just starting with picking a color. I'm going to pick blue, just a random color. So I'm getting my blue.
And not too much color, right?
Yeah.
You have your rag handy.
Yeah, I'm just dipping it on my rag and then making a dot and...
That's more like a grayish color.
Yeah, I think I'll add a little more.
You can add a little bit more blue, I think. That's going to be your first bird?
Yeah, that's my first bird, just a random blob.
So you see, it's just a random blob. For those of you following, there's no precision. Don't try to make it into a circle or an oval or any other shape. It's just scribbles, right?
I'm making 2 birds and 2 robots.
So those will be your birds, you think?
Yes.
Okay, do you want to choose another color for the robots?
I think...
While this paint dries before the outline?
I think I'll do a yellow.
Okay. And if you have questions as you're doing this or just watching us, just let us know. I'm happy to answer. I'm able to read the comments, so I can answer any questions you have of Mira or of me as we're doing this today.
The robots are going to be a little higher. And I'm leaving space for her to make the flowers and the monsters.
Is that the robot's body? Does it
Oh,
have a head?
it has the head. This is the head.
I see.
I forgot to make this more looks like the body. I'll make the head. That can be the head. And they're like scribbles outside. That's just fine. It's okay if you don't try to make circles or rectangles, perfect triangles.
And just make sure this is a zero stress activity. I don't want anybody who's watching us today or following along to be stressed about anything while doing this. Just have fun. This is your 45 minutes of just having fun. And nothing you do is going to be wrong. Everything you do is going to be right.
And now is when I take the Sharpie. I just wanted to wait for it to dry, so that's why I am doing the birds first. Just outlining the blob. And maybe this could be the beak, or maybe it's opening its beak, so this could be where the eye is. It's like opening its beak. And then the hair.
Hi, Claudia. Thanks for joining us.
So the hair can go over there, like the beak is opening and telling the robot something. These legs.
That's really cute.
It kind of looks like a robot.
A little bit. Do you think it's going to have feathers or wings or tail?
Oh, yeah. So that's one, and then the other is on the other side.
No tail for this bird today?
Well, maybe it can have a tail.
Okay.
And then this one is looking at this one. Like this could be the beak. I think I'll make it more like a beak. Outline it.
And also, just as a reminder, whenever we do these YouTube lives, we tell people to keep this in mind, that whatever we're doing are just kind of an idea. It's just a technique that we're sharing with you, but feel free to modify it. Do what makes you happy. You don't have to copy exactly what we're doing on screen.
And also something, you don't have to do the two birds the same color. You could choose different colors for the robots and the birds.
Oh, this one doesn't have feathers and...
Oh, I keep forgetting to do it. Oh, this could be the tail.
Oh yeah, that could be the tail.
Now the robot is kind of silly because it has one hand or hair strand.
What kind of a robot is it? What does this robot do?
It senses anything,
What kind of things does it sense?
like flowers and moon stuff that's on the moon.
Oh, it can go out to the moon?
Yeah,
Oh,
fly in a
how fun.
rocket ship.
Oh, it flies in a rocket ship.
And now just,
Oh, those look like wire legs.
yeah,
Like
wire legs.
Are those boingy legs?
Yeah, they're boingy wire legs. And then for the hands, boingy wires.
Dude, where do you think I'm going to draw my monsters? You're taking up a lot of space. Okay, well, I'll figure it out. Go ahead. Go
And
ahead
then the
with
flowers can be there.
Okay, go ahead with your robots.
Like
So
that.
you can see, for those of you young kids, and if kids are joining in, I really want to encourage you to do some storytelling as you're doing this, because from blobs, you can get like really intricate, detailed stories. That's what Mira and I do a lot of times when we're spending time doing art together. We come up with these storylines, and I think we're going to very soon turn this journal into some kind of a comic book, because we have so many different themes going on different days. Oh, it says BE, and it has numbers.
Yeah, for the mouth, and then B, and then this is gonna have EP.
What does that mean, BE and EP?
B,
Oh, B-E-E-P, beep. I got it, okay, cool.
and then the robots have these ones and zeros
Uh-huh.
for the mouth because they talk in that language.
They talk some zeros and ones.
Yeah.
And they say beep.
Yeah?
This one looks like more like a Halloween, like it's wearing a
This
Halloween.
one?
Yeah, it looks like it's wearing a Halloween costume.
Yeah.
That robot is kind of covered in a shroud. And once we're done with this, I really also will encourage you to please, please, please email us. If you make something from this demo today, I would love to see it. And I know Mira would love to see it too. And I'm typing in my email address in the comment section. So please email us what you create today. Or if you're watching it later, whenever you watch this, if it inspires you to create something, please do send us your creations.
So just did the EP over here, and then did the wires for the hands. This is kind of going out of the page. And did these numbers. And that's what I'm doing.
Okay, do you want to add us anything else? What fell down? Your water brush? You can have mine, that's fine.
Okay.
Do you want to add any more details to that, or do you think that's fine the way it is?
Maybe it's okay, I guess. It looks fine.
It looks fine, okay. So my turn. I get to make flower blobs, and what am I making?
And monsters.
Okay, so Mira went in for kind of one cool color and one warm color. I think I'll make my flowers all different colors. So I'll just do red. And then
These are small blobs.
Yeah, I just wanted to do smaller flowers today. I'm not even doing blobs, as you can see. I'm just kind of dabbing my brush and just calling it a day. Not worried about this. And I think I'm gonna make flying monsters today, because there's so much space up top and there's not enough space at the bottom.
Because I made all these legs.
So I have a lot of blobs at the bottom.
And I just wanted to say,
Yes.
but this one almost looks like it's like on top and keeping shelter so it gets warm.
From what?
From the sun. I mean,
Ah.
from the cold, so this one gets like warm.
The bird gets warm? So
Yeah.
It's kind of protecting the bird.
Yeah. And this bird is talking like, why aren't you protecting me or something?
Okay, we'll have fun with those speech bubbles today. Okay, I'm going to take another bit of color, and I'll do some, I think I'll do a blob over here, and I'll do a blob. What color did I take? I forgot. I think it's this one.
Yeah.
I'll do a blob over here. So I think 2 monsters is a good amount of monsters to have.
This one looks like you need to wait for it to
Yeah,
dry a little longer.
So I'm going to take my Sharpie now, and for my flowers, I'm just going to circle around for that one, for this one. This is just going to go around and outline.
This one looks like a foot, and this one looks like 2 footprints.
And sometimes I just do dots instead of outlining, because it could be a different kind of flower.
It could be a sunflower.
It could be any kind of flower.
It could be a yew flower.
Yeah.
It could be a made-up flower. Any kind of thing.
So even with the outlines, just don't be very particular about how you make the outlines around the blobs. There will be some gaps, and that's totally fine. That's what makes it like a sketch.
Like this, she didn't go in there.
And then for my monsters, that one is still wet, so I'll just do this one first. I'm just going to give it like a fuzzy ball effect by just kind of doing little squiggles on the margin. That looks like a fur ball. And then same thing over here.
Still kind of wet.
Just outlining it a little bit, making it a fuzz ball.
I wish I could do.
You know, I feel like I need to have one monster jumping from in between the arms. It's almost, so the way I'm seeing it, Mira, is I feel like these robots are going to have this monster over here kind of jumping in between their arms. So they're boinging it up. What do you think?
And this one's kind of falling down on the bird. Like this one.
So I'm just going to make one more blob over here for my 3rd monster. I think the storyline is kind of coming together.
Yeah.
Now to add some details, let me do the outline of that monster first, and then I'll go in and add some details before we do our speech bubbles. And when I say details, the details are what kind of make it come alive. So for Mira's birds, for instance, a detail would be that we go in with the same color that she used earlier, but this time we just add a little bit more depth.
Like darker areas?
Just have some dark areas and some light areas.
So
as you can see, I'm just kind of doing it on one side.
And then I can do the rest of the bird.
Yeah, I'm just showing you this one. And you can do your second bird yourself. So just using that same color that you used earlier and just kind of giving it some depth. And then doing the same thing over here, but not going all the way.
It kind of looks really funny.
So you see how suddenly it has like more depth, and then just kind of adding some color to its, what is this called? Plumage on its head?
Head. Hair.
Hair?
Hair. Maybe antennas.
Maybe antennas. So that's what I mean by adding details, is when you look at that first bird over there and you compare it with this one, the second bird is all flat, whereas the first bird now has some shadows and some light play going on.
And are you going to make like the petals of the flowers and the eyes? And
I will do the monsters, yes. I
mouth.
just wanted to show them how they can add, since a lot of people might be already done with their blobs, and now they can go in and add their details. Okay, so once this is all blended in so that there are no harsh lines.
And you can make anything with these blobs. You don't have to make birds and robots and monsters and flowers.
Do you have any other ideas? We would love to hear your ideas too if you want to type them in.
One time I made...
Keep doing your shadows.
One time I made a dog.
That's right, I remember that.
Yeah, and one time I also made lots and lots and lots of birds. I love to make birds with these.
I think it would be cool to have like a pet zoo.
Oh my gosh,
you could have like cats and dogs if you made some blobs and made it into a pet zoo. Hey, maybe we should do that on another page.
Or maybe just a house with some pets.
So Mira's now adding her shadows.
I think there needs to be a shadow at the bottom and one at the top. There.
Okay, and I'm going to just blend her shadows in.
Because I don't have a really clean brush.
No. So just for blending, all you need is just some water, and you're just going to go in and take the darker parts and just kind of blend them into the lighter parts so that there's no clear line between, because if there's a clear line, then it kind of looks weird.
And it looks like, what are you doing?
I'm just going to make this part a little bit darker because it's the bottom area.
Oh yeah, I forgot to make it over there.
It's okay.
I can just do it.
And the other thing is you also don't have to have I'll show you in one of them. But you can also have like shadows. Also, you don't have to have just plain simple blobs. So now my turn to go in and turn these flowers into real flowers.
Oh, these are very long flowers.
Do they remind you of like any real flower that you've seen maybe?
Maybe this one is a sunflower.
Think so?
Mm-hmm. This one could be a
Did I give
red
them all
poppy.
stalks? I think I gave them all stalks. Sometimes I forget to give all of them stalks and then there's a flower just flying around randomly.
Well, there could be a flower that's picked up by the wind.
I want to make these monsters like really happy.
With no nose?
No nose. They're so happy their noses are just gone. And you can see how simple this is. It's just two little blobs of black.
And don't forget to make the feet.
I don't want to make feet. I think their feet are disappeared. But I do want to give them some motion signs here.
Because they're super high. I
They're
think
high
this one
and
is higher than this one.
They're kind of, so these are just the motion lines over there. And I do think I want to add some green at the bottom so that we can have some grass and some leaves maybe for the flowers that we made, the flower blobs.
We actually don't have any green. This kind of, when it dried up, looks like green now.
Mm-hmm. And then for the green, again, at the bottom, just going to slide this up a bit so you can see. All I'm doing is just dragging my brush across the length of the page while just doing a slight up and down motion.
They can't really see this.
I'm going to turn this upside down so you can actually see what I'm talking about. I don't have enough room over here to actually show you the whole thing, and the camera won't go higher than this. So just what I'm doing is taking my green and dragging the brush across the page like that at the very bottom and just kind of doing some squiggly motion so that it's not a straight line but kind of a raggedy line. So that's my lightest green that I put in there, and then I'll just go in with another shade of green.
So it's not like too light and looks like the monster color? I mean,
Also, the robot. Also because I wanted to have some light and dark areas so that it looks like there's shadow.
not just one whole green
And that
thing.
is just like one flat layer of grass. And as you can see, I'm not going like all the way through, just in some spots and just blending it in. So now we have some grass over there. And go in with some more light green and just do some strokes so it looks like
It's like very tall
summer grass
Very
growing tall. And again, I'm doing this upside down, so there's no precision. You're just having fun, right? It's the zero stress Friday hour. Absolutely no perfection required.
On
Just have
here,
fun.
since it's upside down, it kind of looks like this is a rainbow and these are clouds.
Oh, when you look at it like that now?
Uh-huh.
Upside down, that's an interesting perspective. Okay, do some dark areas over there to finish off the grass.
It's not that dark a color, Mama.
Yeah, I didn't want it to be too dark either. Okay, now I'm gonna give my little monster, my cuties over there, some shading with a pencil.
That is really sharp.
I am using a pencil, but if you don't have any water-soluble pencils, that's totally fine. Just go ahead and use your brush. your
These
water
pencils
brush.
are really
I think I'm just going to use a sea blue. And just kind of... So these are water-soluble pencils, the Derwent Ink 10s. And I like them because it's just easier
to do
go
the
in.
shadows.
Yeah, to go into specific areas. And this is kind of how you take it from being just a blob of paint that feels like it accidentally dropped on the page to making it intentional and making it more of an art.
Like when I was
Hence.
practicing for this, I made that bird that the big busy one. I made a bird and like the Sharpie was open and then I got two splashes and I thought that was an eye and an eyebrow.
Yeah, sometimes that happens too.
Yeah. And then it doesn't even look like it was a mistake. Sometimes I just make water blobs with some color and I just blend it into the background or with something.
So the nose, where the nose would have been, is the area where I plucked some color off of. So I just made that kind of the lightest area in the monster's face. So it kind of looks like a round nose and a round character that has like the shadow areas towards the edges. So just did some color plucking over there. That's what color plucking is. It's just lifting off. I call it color plucking. It's just lifting off the paint in some areas where you want kind of them to be the highlight area. Like in the bird, it would be the area where the beak is. So we just kind of lift off. And this is just like plain, nothing in this. There's just water in this brush.
I have a question for you.
Yes, ma'am.
Like, how do you know where the highlight area is?
It's going to be very close to the shadow area. So the darkest point of your painting is where you want to have the lightest point right next to. So you have a sense of dimension.
Oh.
So you see how it changes the blob from being just a flat blob into something that might be round? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
We'll do the same thing with the robots. Which colors did you use for the robots?
I used this yellow, which became really white with a lot of water.
Okay, so we'll add some shadow to the EP over here.
I wanted to make it funny, that's why I did B.
That is funny. Okay, and then for your actual robot body, just going to go in with this super dark green, and I know it looks odd right now.
Yeah, it does.
But we're going to blend it. So I'm just, I would encourage you to not use too much paint, just very, very little paint, and just use more water.
Like, I used a very, very dark yellow for this. Actually, my darkest yellow. And then it became super like a really, really light green.
I am so glad you think this is so much fun, Zoe. We're having fun doing it too. So again, just a very, very, like a smidgen of a bit of a color, and then I'm wiping it off on the rag and just using the water to drag the paint around the outline that Mira made.
And it should be like a similar color to the one that you picked.
Similar, yes, but a little bit darker is fine, because that's what's going to give you your shadow areas.
Because if it's too light, then you won't even see
the shadow. Yeah. And just going to go into the EP that she made for
because it's like
beak.
up.
So it's like I think it's you wanted to make that the display area?
Yeah, I wanted to make it like up, not like written on the robot.
And
now it actually looks like it's like up.
So do you want me to do the same thing over here, or do you want to do it yourself?
I think you should do it.
I should do.
I don't know how much
You
color.
haven't practiced the shadows yet, but you can learn today.
Okay.
So again, just taking a very, very little amount of color. And at first it looks really dark in that one area, but then I'm using my water brush to just drag that color around the edges.
And if you don't have a water brush, you can just use the water in your
cup. So keep wetting your brush if you're not using a water-filled brush, but a regular brush.
Keep wetting your brush to get the water moving, otherwise it'll look super dark like this.
Right, and you don't want it to look super dark because then it starts looking odd. Thank you, Mira, for helping with people who might not have these water brushes. Okay, so just gonna go ahead and finish that one up.
Oh, I
They
realized.
really do look like ghosts for Halloween.
I realized this looks like an armpit, so I should have made the arm from there, but that's okay.
You think it looks like an arm? Do you want to use a Sharpie and
This
make an
looks
outline?
like an armpit.
An armpit?
Yeah.
Maybe it's smelling its armpit and saying ew. Maybe that's the bubble we make there.
Ew.
Maybe it's saying ew. What do you think? Should we do that, guys? Everybody who's watching, should we make that this robot smell its armpit and say ew?
No, I'm like, this bump here looks like an armpit.
I think that would be fun.
I'm not saying this.
Which one are you saying?
This.
Oh, that part?
Yeah. It kind of looks like an outfit like people have.
Okay, and now I'm just going to go in and do some shadows. So Mira has made some really cool legs over there for those robots.
Yeah.
And I'm just going to use kind of like a brown. And where's my thin water brush? Mira, are you holding it?
I'm using this one.
Can I have that, please? Thank you. So I'm just going to go in with a thinner point brush and just going to use a brown.
A very light brown.
And then just add, so this has those springy legs.
Those are wires. That's
The
why I made
wires.
them.
Just kind of go around the wires so that the wires also
Very springy legs.
have some dimension. And I'm just picking some paint. So I added the paint first with the water brush, and now I'm just using plain water to kind of pick at that paint so that it's not a very well-defined line, but kind of a hint of a line.
Like
A hint of color right there. Zoe says sure. So maybe we should make that robot say ew once we're done here.
Like this could be like its hand instead. It could have 3 hands.
Do you want to use the Sharpie to make any other features for that robot while I'm doing the shadows?
Like what?
I don't know. I'm just asking.
I don't know. Maybe I can make the speech bubbles.
You can make the speech bubbles.
And then you can write in them?
Sure. Sounds like a plan.
Because I know where they're going to be.
But if your arm comes there, then I can't make the shadow.
Okay.
So gotta figure this out. Maybe this bird speech bubble can come over there. So Mira's making the speech bubbles with the Sharpie while I'm adding the shadows to her robot's really long legs. And I hope this is fun and relaxing for you. I know, you know, as adults, we kind of lose our sense of humor as we grow older. I don't know why that happens, but thank goodness for children that they bring it back into our lives and allow us to be free again and enjoy these little things. So if you are an adult and you do not have any children, I encourage you to try this because it really is fun.
I think I know what this one should be saying, so I'll just write it.
Oh my goodness, the speech bubble is going to be at the bottom for that one? Okay, that's going to be really funny.
Yay. It's saying yay.
Oh, it's saying yay?
I didn't make it upside down. It would be hard to read.
Okay, so I think I've got the shadows for her legs all done.
So maybe I tried to make it like closed because this one is synced to this one. This one is synced to this one.
And now making the shadows for her hands.
Her hands or his?
The
Robots.
I don't know. Are the robots he's or she's or it's?
don't know.
What are they? Are they it's?
They are he.
Do you want to name them today? Do you guys name your drawings when you're making characters? For those of you who are making this or watching this, do you name the characters? We've not done that so far. We've just kind of given them dialogues and personalities, but we haven't given them any names.
Like maybe each one could have a speech bubble saying, "My name is."
Oh, so this could be like
Telling their names at a party.
So like when school starts, when the new class comes
Yeah.
in. Oh, so do you think they're all coming into the new class? Is this like their welcome party for school? Okay.
And like they're the same colors. Maybe these robots are here to help.
Or they're from different grades. Oh,
Yeah.
like buddies, like 5th grader
Yeah.
buddies. So the robots are from more advanced grades?
Like 8th grade
8th grade robots. Okay, we've got 8th grade robots.
to help kindergartners maybe.
Okay, I'm going to make a speech bubble over here for this one. And I think this one is just going to be dreaming of something. So we'll make a thought cloud for that little one over there.
And you can make any speech bubbles.
So I think just going to add a couple of dots over here.
What are those dots? What are those dots?
They might be seeds.
Maybe seeds from some trees up way above.
Maybe. And I'm going to give this flower some spikes.
Maybe it's a spiky flower.
And this flower some spikes.
I think.
And now this is just embellishing, so just have fun, you know. It's We're kind of done with the main drawing, and now we're just kind of adding character to it. And you can do something completely different. Yes, Anya, you can do something completely different using the same technique. The idea is just putting some paint on the paper without thinking anything about it, putting any kind of blobs down, and making up your own page of characters. It doesn't have to be these particular things.
Like you could even like take a piece of paper, make lots of, you could like keep, if you finish one dot drawing, you can go to the other and make it a comic book and have a cover.
Mm-hmm.
Who are you? Who are you? Because it looks kind of silly. Oh, yeah. What is that? Why is there an arrow there? Why is there an arrow?
You see how this is kind of becoming like this thing of where they're always together. So if somebody asks, who are you? This robot can just point to this arrow, and then they look at this one, and they know that they're together. Oh, and then we were going to make this one say you.
You.
Where should it say you? Maybe make a speech bubble over here. Ew. This one's sleeping, this one's saying yay. Was that a speech bubble that you were making?
Mm-hmm. I was trying to make it a speech bubble.
Well, it might look like this one's holding the speech bubble.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm just going to make some dots around the flowers over here. What do you guys think? Do you think this is something that's fun and doable, and you try this at home and do it with your friends? You could even have a family weekend party and, you know, everybody take turns and kind of come up with your own family story page.
Maybe we could, like, your family could take turns making lots of different colored blobs and make them into lots of animals, robots, monsters, anything. And make them hugging or holding someone.
Do you feel this is, oh wait, this bird didn't say anything.
Oh yeah, you forgot to write in it. Maybe you can write something.
I am so happy that
It's not your angle.
you came today.
That's a big. I was.
You made a really big speech bubble. So
I was thinking you would write like this with a Sharpie. So.
Okay, so I think we're gonna call this done, and I'm just gonna make my camera go a bit higher so you can see the whole thing. Can you see the whole thing?
Yes, they can.
So this is our entire page. It's collaborative art, and it's zero stress art, and it's fun art, and it's colorful art, and I think I like it. What do you think, Mira?
Maybe we should write beep. Here.
Do you want to write beep? You can use the
Yeah.
Sharpie to finish it off and write beep.
Because this is making that. And they're saying beep to each other.
Mm-hmm. So I really do hope that you enjoyed this 35 minutes of art with us, and we will be back again. I don't know if Mira's going to be joining me next week, but I will be here.
I will.
Okay, so we'll come up with another new technique to share with you next Friday. And for those of you who are graduating this week and next week, congratulations. Happy graduation and welcome summer. I am teaching a lot of online courses. If you want to go check them out, they're at courses.mansimakes.com. I will add a link in my comment section here so you can have a look at those. So if you want to do some art courses with me, Mira won't be present in those, but if you want to take some art courses with me, then you're welcome to look them up.
If you're graduating or something, you can make a graduating party maybe.
Oh, for their drawing?
Yeah.
Using this technique?
Yeah.
That's a great idea. Well, thank you so much, and I hope you all have a wonderful weekend. We'll see you all next week.